Hot summer days in the south of France. Everyone wears short sleeves and short skirts, but Philippe not only wears a thick down jacket and also put on a thick padded hat because he was going to work in the north. Julie thought it was very cold there. She let Philippe put on the down jacket in advance before leaving. As for why Philippe was going to work up north, the story starts a few days ago. Philippe was a post office worker. He and Julie had a dream. They wanted to go and live on the Gold Coast in the south of France, but they never got what they wanted. Julie complained about him a lot. This had a serious impact on the couple's relationship. His latest application for a job transfer was won by a disabled person. Philippe had an idea. He also pretended to be a disabled person and applied for a transfer. To his surprise, he soon received the notice. His colleagues were happily celebrating. At that moment, an inspector came from headquarters. He wanted to see the real situation of Philippe. Luckily, Philippe was prepared. He asked his colleagues to stall the inspector for a while. He quickly ran back to his office and took out the wheelchair he had hidden in the corner. He didn't expect it to be packed very sturdily. He took out a hobby knife and cut the package open. He accidentally cut the tire. He managed to remove the package and couldn't open the wheelchair. He struggled for a long time to break it. He just sat down on the wheelchair. The inspector had arrived at the door. He sat awkwardly in his wheelchair to say hello. When he saw the slashed tire, he lied that a neighbor kid did it. The inspector asked him how long he had been disabled. He started acting at once. "It's something I don't even want to talk about. It was when I was very young." As he was talking, he simmered with emotion. But then he saw the family photo on the table. He quickly went up and took a picture of it. He faked another muscle spasm and twitched. The inspector was stunned. He believed his act. "I was just doing a routine check, because there are so many people who want to get a job on the Gold Coast. There's always someone who's faking. Is there such a thing? Those people are so shameless, aren't they?" When the inspector felt that there was no problem, he was about to leave. Philippe stood up excitedly and shook his hand. The wheelchair behind him betrayed him. After the discovery of his forgery, the company gave him two choices: either go to work up north for at least 2 years, or he could be fired from the company. "I heard that not only is the climate in the north harsh, people are also very rude." Julie said she would not go because she didn't want to freeze to death. His son echoed his mother's sentiments. "I don't want to lose a few toes." To get to the bottom of this, Philippe found an old man who was born in the north. It's a very harsh climate. Many children die early. It's below 0 degrees in the summer. In winter, it can be more than 40 degrees below zero. Reluctant to give up, Philippe went to the library again. The descriptions in the books said he could not dare look at the picture, so he fainted. In order to keep his job, he still chose to go north, even though it was summer. Julie was afraid that he would be cold in the north. She prepared a thick down jacket for him. She asked him to wear it on the way, so that he would be warmer. Philippe was on his way with a sad face. He was stopped by a traffic cop on the highway. "Am I speeding? You're going under 50. It's too dangerous." The traffic cop was about to give him a ticket. He heard that he was going to the cruel north. He let him off the hook and encouraged him to keep going. Philippe drove more than 1,000 kilometers. He arrived in the harsh northern climate before he could enter the city. It started to rain heavily. This man pretended to be disabled to apply for a job transfer, but he revealed his very able-bodied body. Not only could he not go to the warm south, he was also punished to go to the cold north. Before he could reach the north, he encountered heavy rain. The windshield wipers were scraping desperately. He still couldn't see the road in front of him. In a trance, he saw a figure. Then, he was knocked out of the way. The body of this northerner's is really strong. He hit so hard, but he was fine. This was his colleague Anthony, who came to meet him. Anthony took him to the residence to rest, but there was nothing in the room. Anthony took him home with enthusiasm. The next day in his office, he reassured himself, 2 years will soon be over. I need to be happy. After that, he smiled happily. But this smile is a bit special. All three of his colleagues were very concerned about Philippe. They brought him a truckload of furniture that day and helped him set it up. To thank his colleagues for their help, he invited them to dinner at the restaurant. Anthony wanted him to fit in as quickly as possible. He taught him how to learn the local language quickly.
Nous autres, on ne dit pas pardonnez-moi, je n'ai pas bien saisi le sens de votre question. On dit
Philippe learns it like he should. There is a common word here. It's a common term of endearment for men, women, and children.
Bonsoir, Miloud.
It didn't take long. Philippe had learned the essence. We all had a great time together. In the evening, Julie called. She asked him how things were going. Was it very painful? He said it wasn't too cold here. The people here are also very warm. But Julie didn't believe him. He had to go along with Julie's wishes. I really can't stand it anymore. It's like a nightmare here. Julie started to care for him and comfort him. The next thing I knew, Philip was having dinner with his colleagues, shopping together, working together happily. Half a month had passed. Philip returned home, but he felt like he had been married for a long time. Julie no longer complained about anything. Instead, she was very concerned about him. She didn't expect that his work in the north would restore their relationship. One day his colleague Anthony got drunk again. He treated a client's 26 grams of mail as 26 kilos. He asked the client to stick 17 stamps at a time. He helped to stick them with his mouth. He kept talking. Philip approached Anthony to talk. To get rid of his drinking problem at work, Philip was going to deliver the mail with him, to see what was going on with him. After knocking on the first door, he was enthusiastically dragged into the room. Have an aperitif. We don't drink. This is our special drink. It's a relaxing drink. I'll have a sip. The two of them drank. Anthony just rang the doorbell of the second client. Philip came up to stop him. You can't ring the doorbell anymore, or we'll have to drink again. It's a registered letter. Then we'll go in and not drink it. They hadn't been inside a minute. The host served drinks again. Each family did the same to them next. And Philip understood Anthony, why he was drunk every day. The people here are too welcoming. The two of them went to the creek to go to the bathroom. They were already walking shakily. On the way back, Philip wanted to race the car to see who would get back to the post office first. He almost ran into a policeman on the way, so the cop pulled him over. He was taken to the police station. Julie was very upset when she found out. I know your life is very painful, but you don't have to use alcohol to numb yourself. When Philip came home again, Julie insisted on going north with him. She wanted to see what kind of life he was living. What kind of things do men do to get rid of their wives? Philip was running with Julie on the highway when a big truck behind him tries to overtake him. He pretended to dodge the truck and jerked the steering wheel. He directly caused the accident. He told Julie to stay and deal with the accident. He took the train and left. When he arrived at work, he called a meeting with his colleagues and told them the truth. He wanted everyone to help him tell the lie. After Julie took care of the matter, she came over by train. It was time to show off his true acting skills. Julie was just walking down the street. She was picked up by his colleagues. They were drinking like crazy in the car. They drove her to an abandoned mining town. After getting out of the car, there were people here fighting at the door. There were people greeting with guns. There were trash being dumped right in front of the door. There were children throwing stones. The rooms are also in a state of disrepair. The furniture is very simple. People invite them to dinner are directly smashed the door. They say this is the basic welcome ceremony. Must be there. Come to the gathering place. Julie was very scared. Hurry up and eat. There will be tigers later when it's dark. So what kind of meat is this? It depends on what we catch. There was a cat scream on the side. A cat quickly ran out of the room. Someone immediately grabbed the gun. Fortunately, it did not hit. There seemed to be nothing to eat today. Several people ate more savagely than anyone else. Julie couldn't eat. She'd take a bite of bread. She didn't know it was harder than a rock. At night, you can clearly hear the neighbors arguing. You can also hear gunshots coming from time to time. Philip explained, this is the local people's way to scare their wives. Seeing such harsh living conditions, Julie was not only not going to leave, she was going to stay and endure it with him no matter what. Philip woke up early and went to find someone to discuss a solution, so Julie went out on her own. She ended up at Philip's post office. She also found out that it was all a scam. You just don't want me to stay. She got angry and left. Over the weekend, Philip returned home. He apologized sincerely to Julie and hoped she would come up north to live with him. Julie forgave him and followed him to live in the north. Happy times are always short. Soon, 3 years passed. Due to Philip's excellent performance in these 3 years, he was really transferred to the Gold Coast to work. Everyone came out to say goodbye to him. Philip was very sad to leave. He was very emotional and shed tears. What Anthony said was true. Out-of-towners will cry twice when they come here. Once when they first arrive, once when they leave. Finally, Philip took Julie and left. The two of them were going to the Gold Coast, start a carefree and happy life. This is the ending of the movie. It's a French comedy film. A middle-aged man is transferred to the north. He thinks it's hell, but it's actually paradise. And his pessimistic wife lets his mouth full of lies. Sometimes life is like that. I don't want what you think I want. I want what I think I want. If you like it, please follow and like and leave a comment. See you next time.